Benji Bruce with Speaking Lifestyle, and we are going to talk about the referral method. So if you guys got the email today, I sent an email out about a guy named Kareem. He's a Speak Pro Academy member, and he's been killing it, like absolutely killing it with just getting gigs. If you check his Instagram, you'll see all the testimonials he's getting, everything. And a while ago, we talked about the referral method and just when you get booked for a gig, what do you do afterwards to book more gigs? And that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's see who's hopping on. We're just going to get into the referral method. It's a very systematic way of getting gigs once you get your first gig. If there is one thing that you want to do, that one thing that you truly want to master, it is the referral method. Hands down. What's up, Maggie? What's up, Glenn? What's up, everybody? All right, cool. So let's get into it. And by the way, for all you Speak Pro members, the referral method is week number 8 inside of the Speak Pro Academy modules. So if you guys go over that, you'll see like all the details of the method that we won't talk about here. But that's where you get all the details of it. But basically, you got to think in terms of you're doing all this work to get on a stage, to get booked. You're sending out cold emails, cold calling, whatever it is you're doing all this work to get booked, right? Now it's a matter of you get the gig. Well, how do you squeeze as much as possible out of that gig to get more gigs? That's what you need to do with referrals. When a lot of speakers say I get gigs through referrals, what they really mean is I have no idea how to get gigs. That's what they really mean. Ask a speaker like, hey, how do you get gigs? They'll say like referrals, word of mouth. And there's no systematic process for doing that. In fact, ask anyone in any industry, how do you get business, whether it's a real estate agent, insurance agent, fitness guru, anyone, they will all tell you, oh, it's like word of mouth, the referrals. Very few actually know how to turn it into a systematic process. That's what you have to do. That's what we're going to talk about with the whole referral method. So I really want to go over this. Like I said, it is hands down the most important thing. And if you guys have any questions about anything in terms of referrals or anything like that, you guys can post the questions as well. But just understand, you got to master the referral process, hands down. What's up, David? So let's see. Like I said, the reason why the referral method, the reason why you want to master this thing is because, think about it. In order to get hired, people want to see what you can do. So ultimately, if they're going to pay you $10,000 to speak on a stage, they want to see what you can actually do. This is why everyone wants to see video footage of you. It's why when you send out an email and you say, hey, I'm the greatest speaker in the world, it's funny, it's amazing, it's interactive, everyone's sitting there thinking, well, I don't know, anyone can say that, let me see it, right? And so they all want to see it. And the video helps them, but if they see it live, like if they're there at the event and they see people having a great time, people laughing, people coming up afterwards and saying like, oh my goodness, that dude, it was so funny, that was just an amazing presentation. When they see that for themselves, it is proof that you are the greatest speaker in the world, hands down proof. And so this is why you have to master this process in order to get more referrals at events. And this is something that I did a long time ago. I didn't think about it at first. Like most people, they don't really think about systematizing a referral process, but you want to think about how do you systematize the whole thing. What's up, D? What's up, Michael? What up, Griff? What up, peeps? All right. And by the way, like I said, if you guys have any questions in terms of getting on stages or any questions at all, just make sure you ask them. Make sure you post. That way I can answer them as I go. But like I said, what was I getting to? Yeah, so referrals, it needs to be systematic. So everything that I talk about, you'll notice I keep saying build systems. This is one of the things that I wish someone would have drilled into my head in the beginning in terms of build systems, because if you don't build systems, what you do is you end up waking up the next day and you just don't know what to do. You're like, how do I repeat that process? So you get a result and you have no idea how to repeat the process to get yourself booked more often. Whereas if you systematize it, you simply put a process in place and then you just do the same steps over and over again until you get the same result over and over again. Basically, think of how scientists do it, right? To where with science, it's just a matter of, okay, we got the equation right, we got the process down, now this is how the universe works. All we got to do is just repeat this thing over and over and over again, and we'll get the same result. That's why you always want to systematize everything you do, from outreach to referrals, everything. And like I said, most people, they're sitting there, they're wondering why they're not getting referrals because they don't systematize anything. They just don't systematize the process, right? So let's see. D said, as a beginner, how do you recommend getting started? Okay, so getting started as a beginner, hands down, I recommend you have to get someone to help you. Hands down, because you don't realize how far you are from your end goal, and you don't realize how many things you're doing that are wasting your time and that you're not doing them the right way. And because of that, it's going to take you a minimum of, in terms of like getting gigs, let's say if you want to get gigs, it's going to take you a minimum of 5 years, hands down minimum, if you go at it by yourself. No matter what you do, no matter how smart you are, it will take you a minimum of 5 years. And that's if you truly implement, like if you truly hustle, that is hands down going to take you that long. And so that's the first thing you got to do. You need someone to help you. After that, you just do, there's literally two things you got to master. There's getting your website up and then getting an outreach system in place to where you know how to reach out to events, contact those events. Those are the two things you got to really work on. So first, the website, and then second, the outreach. And in terms of the website, it's like, once again, this is why having someone there showing you what to do and how to do it the right way, this is why it's so important, because a website, anyone can put a website up. It's a matter of, is the website really good? Anyone can send out a cold email or make a phone call. It's just a matter of, is it good? And that's the difference. And the difference comes down to the implementation. So that's essentially how you're going to get started. But I'm going to go back to that question later on after I talk about this referral method as well, D. That way I can go into more detail. But just understand that if you're starting, you have to get a mentor, get a program, get somebody to help you. I cannot stress this enough. There's so many people out there. I was one of them. In fact, I think everybody does it to begin with. Everyone understands they need a mentor. But for some reason, people don't do it because we think, you know what, I can just go online, look at all the free stuff, and I can do it myself. And hey, sure, technically you can. It's just going to take you a long time because we don't realize the difference between information and implementation. And we think that just because we know something or we see someone else doing it, we think we can do it. And so there's just a huge difference, right? So let me get back to the referral method, and I'll go back to that question as well. But like I said, the referral method, if you get this down, then the amount of work that you have to do is going to be a lot less, but you're going to achieve more results. And so that's why you want to master the referral system. And I just saw Barry hop on, and in fact, that reminded me, I'm going to talk about Barry when I had him at the event as well. It was a Traffic and Conversion Summit as well. I'm going to talk about that. So Barry, by the way, he's a really smart entertainer, like almost as smart as me. Not as smart, but he's almost as smart as me. I mean, he's got a bald head like me, almost a smart guy, but he's close. All right, so basically, I want to ask you guys, how do you get referrals? For those of you right now, how do you personally get referrals? So type into Facebook right now, how do you get referrals? I want to see what it is you do. And don't say the word I ask. Don't say like I asked them about referrals. If you ask, tell me, what do you ask them? What do you say to them? So I want to hear that. How do you get referrals? Let's see. Barry said, talking about me, not as good looking. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's also a good point. Barry's not as good looking as me. And he doesn't wear purple. Purple that's the magic color. That's how you achieve everything, by wearing purple, hands down. All right, so once again, I want to see, how do you guys actually get referrals? So someone type it in terms of how you get referrals, whether you ask, are you asking them? What exactly are you asking them? What exactly are you doing? So Maggie said, I sell myself on the platform. Got 3 gigs, 3 referrals like that. Yep. All right, yeah, and Maggie, by the way, she's in the Speak Pro Academy show, so she kind of knows more than the average chum, the average speaker. Purple is royalty. Yep, exactly. That is exactly why I picked the color. All right, so I want to hear, how do you guys get referrals? Because like I said, If you ask speakers, entertainers, real estate agents, insurance agents, anyone, how do you get business? And they say, I get business through referrals. What that secretly means is I have no idea how to get business. That's literally what it means. They do not have a systematic process in place, and they don't have a systematic way of getting the referrals either. If, on the other hand, they can describe in detail what they do to get this end result, then you know they have a systematic process. But if someone just says, I just referrals, that literally means I have no idea what to do. I'm going to describe the systematic process in just a second. So let's see. John said, I asked for advice, insights, and recommendations of others who would benefit from this talk. Cool. All right. Anyone else? Nobody else knows how to get referrals? All right. I will assume nobody else knows how to get referrals. So let's go on with this. All right. Here's the thing. When you reach out to events, the first thing that you're doing to actually get hired is you're reaching out to an event, right? Whether you're calling them, emailing them, whatever. You're reaching out to get that gig. Now, when most people think of referrals, they think, when I get hired for this event, let me now present, and then I'll ask them for a referral afterwards. I always prime them in the very beginning. Before they even see me on a stage, I prime them to let them know I'm about to ask for a referral. So as soon as I cold email them and they're either about to hire me, like they're really close in terms of, okay, send us a contract, like we're really close, or even as they sign the contract, I literally prime them by telling them, hey, by the way, I'm going to ask you for referrals because most of my business comes from referrals. So I prime them in the email before they see me in person. I mean, I just prime them. I'm just like, hey, here's what's about to happen. I'm about to get a testimonial from you, and I'm about to ask you for a referral if you thought the presentation was great. So in the beginning, you want to prime the person who hired you. And I can't stress this enough. This is just persuasion in general. You just want to prime them so they're ready. They're ready for it, right? So that's what you want to do to begin with. So let's see. Griff said, I use your method of asking a meeting planner, who here should I talk to? Yeah. All right. So like I said, so Griff, he already knows the method because he's a Speak Pro Academy member. So he already has that down. All right. So let's see. Glenn said, what was your favorite part of the program? Oh, can I video your answer? Yep. Yeah, Glenn, he's getting, like, once again, Glenn's also in the program, so he also understands. All right, so here's the thing. First things first is I prime them. As soon as they're about to hire me, like in the email itself, I prime them by telling them, like, hey, I'm going to ask you for referrals. I also ask them, do you guys have other events where you bring in speakers or entertainers, whichever one I'm getting hired for? I ask them, do you guys have other events, right? And I'm doing that because, once again, I want them to think about not just having me for that one event. I want them to think about other events. And I did this with a lot of companies. Well, in the beginning, I didn't do it with any company because I didn't really think about this stuff. But eventually, I did it with a lot of companies. And I think this happened by accident, actually, because I got hired for an event. And the person who hired me actually said, oh, we have a lot of other events. So, I mean, we can actually bring you in for those other events as well. And I think that had to happen to me about 2 or 3 times before it caught on. And I said, dang, why don't I ask them instead of waiting for them to ask me? So at the very beginning, you simply prime them. You tell them, I'm going to get testimonials from you. I'm going to ask for referrals from you. And hey, do you guys have like other events? Like, do you have other events where you need speakers? So that's the very beginning. I haven't even talked about what you do at the actual event, right? So that's the very beginning. What's up, John? What's up, Greg? All right, so that's the first things first. After I prime them, now let's say I got the gig. Now it's a matter of I'm at the event. Okay, so I'm at the event. I'm actually about to step on a stage. I'm going to do my thing. I'm going to kill it, right? Before I step on the stage, I always go and I look for the meeting planner, the person who hired me, and I go and I talk to them, right? This is before the event actually happens. So let's say the event is 7 o'clock tonight, or let's say 6 p.m. tonight. I show up at, I don't know, 4 p.m. or however early. I just show up early inside the room, and I'm essentially looking for the person who hired me. I'm like, where's this person who hired me? Where's the person, right? So I look for the person who hired me, and I tell them, I say, hey, So is there going to be anyone here that I should talk to that can actually bring me in for other events? So I prime them once again. I'm priming them. I'm telling them like, hey, is there anybody here that's going to come here to this event that I should talk to? And this, I'm telling you what's going to happen is they'll think about it and they'll say, oh yeah, there's actually the VP, he's going to be here. And oh yeah, there's another person I want to introduce you to. That's what's going to happen. You don't want to leave this to chance. Most speakers, they leave everything to chance. They just go, they get hired. They don't do anything before they get hired. When they're at the event, they don't do anything at the event other than present. They go on the stage, they present. They're just like, okay, cool. After they present, they leave. And then after they leave, maybe they'll ask for a referral. Whereas what you want to do is before you get hired, you're asking them, you're priming them in the beginning. When you're at the event, you look for the meeting planner, the person who hired you, and you tell them, you say like, hey man, so is there anybody here that's going to be able to hire me for another event? Anybody that you can introduce me to or whatever. And so you prime them. Now when, let's say the event is at 6, now you go there, everyone's going there at 5:30 or whatever, everyone's coming into the event. At that moment, you go in just as early. And once again, you go up to the meeting planner because they said like, oh yeah, the VP, oh yeah, there's someone else I want to introduce you to. So now you go back up to that meeting planner and you say like, oh, so who is the VP again? And who was the other person that you wanted to introduce me to? Can you just point them out real quick? And at this moment, this depends on how busy they are when people are coming in, right? So when people are coming in, the meeting planner, they're going to be talking to people. They're going to be like, yeah, oh, great, haha, great. Oh, yeah, how's your son's job doing? And they're going to be talking to people, right? So you want to essentially gauge how busy they are. If they're busy, you just say, point them out to me. Like you're just point them out to me, right? That's all you're really doing. So you're just like, all right, point out, where's the VP? Where's the other person you want to introduce me to? All right, just point them out to me. Okay, cool. You don't really want to get introduced to that person yet, right? So you don't really want to just go up to them. You can go up to them and get introduced to them, but you don't really want to talk about events to that person yet because they have to see you present first. After they see you present, they're going to be like starstruck. They're going to be like, oh my goodness, this speaker's amazing, right? So you want them to see you present first. If you go up to someone, the VP, like let's say the meeting planner introduces you to the VP. He's like, hey, this is Benji. He's going to be the speaker. He's going to be great and all that. And now I start talking to his VP. I'm like, yeah, so I mean, do you have any events going on? I mean, if I start doing that right then and there, the VP hasn't seen me. He hasn't seen my website, nothing. Like he has no idea who the heck I am. So he's not going to be invested whatsoever in me. So that's why I don't ask at that moment. You have to get the timing right. You have to know when to ask and what to ask. So all I want to do is I just want to know who I'm going to talk to. I'm just like, okay, him, her, okay, cool. And I just make a mental note of it. That's all I'm doing. And if you bring someone along with you to the event, then you want to point those people out to that person as well. You say, hey, Barry, so these people here, just make sure we get some testimonies from these people. You're going to point them out to the person that you bring along with you as well. So that's the beginning part, okay? So let's see. Griff said, my meeting planner personally introduced me to the people I was asking about. Yep. All right, cool. So that's the beginning part, all right? So let's go back to the very beginning. Before you even go to the event, as they're looking to book you, as they're about to hire you, give you your money, sign your contract, you prime them in the email or in a phone call. You prime them by saying, hey, I'm going to ask a testimonial from you. I'm like going to get a review from you. I'm going to ask you for a referral, like after I'm done with the presentation. And by the way, like, do you guys have any other events going on? Is there anything going on that you guys can bring me in for? So you ask that in the very beginning. Then when you show up to the event, you as soon as you talk to the meeting planner, you prime them once again. You say, hey, are there going to be anybody here that I should actually talk to? Is there anyone here that's going to come to this event that I should talk to that can hire me for other events? So you're priming them to begin with. Then when you're actually at the event, before you're about to step on the stage, when everybody's coming in, that's when you want the meeting planner to point out those people to you. You want them to say, all right, bam, 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 bam. You're like, okay, cool. You register that inside of your brain, okay? Now, this is where you want to bring a networker. And I came to this realization years ago by accident. What happened was this was when I was doing Restaurant Magic, Okay, so I was doing restaurant magic at a place called the Antlers Hilton in Colorado Springs. And I was doing it every week. Now, the Antlers Hilton, they were cool as all hell because whenever something would happen, whenever an event would happen or whatever, they would tell me about it. They'd be like, Benji, you should actually come to this event real quick. And they would tell me about all this stuff because they knew that I would actually crash events. I would literally walk into an event and I would start performing for people. I'd just crash an event. I'd get introduced to the meeting planner, to whoever's event it was. I'd get introduced to them. I'd perform for a little bit more, get some testimonials and everything. I'd create a really good contact that way. So they knew I would do this. And so they started helping me with it. They were like, all right, Benji, we got this event and this event and this event going on. This event has about 500 people. And they started helping me. So one time they actually said, you're like, Benji, there's this event going on. You really, really want to go to this thing. And I was like, why? They said, this event is going to be nothing but meeting planners, nothing but people who host events. And I was like, okay, done. I'm there, right? I'm there. So what I did is I invited my friend Branden. And so Branden, he was also an entertainer. And I told Branden, I was like, hey, just record, right? I was like, just record for me, record some stuff so I can get some video footage and record some testimonials as well. Now, I wasn't thinking about the networking. I wasn't thinking about, let me get spin-off gigs. This was a moment when I wasn't thinking about that stuff, right? All I was thinking about was getting video footage and testimonials. That's all I thought about. So Branden, he's sitting there, he's recording. I'm performing. He would record. People are flipping out. Oh my goodness, amazing. People are flipping out, right? And then he'd get a testimonial. All right. So he has a testimonial. He's recording them. I would walk off. I would just leave and let them say whatever they want. I would walk off. I'd go present for these people over here. But my friend, because he's naturally outgoing, what he started doing with the testimonial is he started asking them like, oh, so would you bring other people in would you bring Benji in for events? And they're like, oh yeah, I'd definitely bring them in. And then he would start talking to them and he'd start talking to them. He'd get their business card and everything. He's like, oh yes, I mean, like, when is your event coming up? And he'd just start talking to them, just like a natural networker. And then he would come up to me. He's like, Benji, got this business card from Lisa over there. Lisa, she has an event. They do like this event every single year. And so she really wants to bring you in. I'm like, cool. And then he kept doing that, right? And that's when it hit me. I was thinking like the person that you bring can basically be your networker, right? So this is why, if you can, you want to bring certain people like that. Bring people like my friend Branden, people like Barry. I brought Barry to the Traffic and Conversion Summit, and Barry, once again, same thing. Barry's a very business savvy type of guy, so that's the other thing. Your networker should be business savvy. So you don't want to just bring someone in who can just talk. You don't want to bring someone in who's just outgoing. Your networker has to be business savvy. Your networker has to understand the goal of what you're trying to accomplish. What you're trying to accomplish is you're looking for the specific people who can hire you. And so it's like when I brought Barry in, it's like, okay, he was getting the testimonials. He's talking with people and he can tell me like, oh yeah, he's a good contact. He's a good contact. He's a good contact. That's what you want to do. That's how you want to bring in your networker. All right. And so here's what's going to happen with your networker. And if, let's say you can't bring in a networker, you're going to have to do this yourself. The purpose of bringing in a networker is just so you can, you can do this. You can multiply yourself, basically. So if it's just you can only reach a certain amount of people at once. You can only talk to a certain amount of people at once. If you bring in a networker, they can now double the amount of people that you're talking to. And so that's why you want to bring in a networker. The more you can bring, the better. Because think about it, there's 500 people in there. He can't talk to all 500. So if you bring in a networker, they can talk to more people. So that's the purpose of the networker. If you can't bring in a networker, you're going to be doing all this stuff yourself. So let's say in the beginning, remember, you're priming them. You show up to the event, you prime them again. And then right before you're about to present, you say, who in here should I talk to? And so they say, talk to this person. That's a VP. Talk to this person. Talk to this person. You tell your networker or yourself, you say, let's say your networker, you're like, okay, let's get testimonials from these 4 people at the end. Like, let's make sure we get testimonials from them. If it's just you think in terms of, all right, I'm going to get testimonials from these 4 people at the end. All right. So now you speak on a stage. You're on stage. You're doing your thing. You're like, all right, motivation. You guys are amazing and have a mission and all that. And all right, you're doing your thing, right? Right before you're about to finish, before you finish your presentation, you want to do this little pitch. And it's like a 2-second pitch. all you're really doing at that moment, when you're on stage, right before you're about to finish, you simply say, all right, guys, I got one more story to tell you. I got one more demonstration to do. I got one more whatever. Or, hey, guys, all right, I'm about to finish. Before I'm done, I want to just point out that I'm going to be hanging out over here. I'm going to get a couple testimonials from you guys. And I mean, if you guys like the presentation, just come up to me and hand me your business card if you have any events going on. So from the stage, you just give a quick little pitch. And that's all you're doing, just a quick little pitch. Once again, you're priming the audience at this point to say like, hey, come up to me. Like, hey, I'm not scary. You guys can come up to me. And you're priming them for a review. And you're also priming the people who can hire you. You're saying, give me your business card if you guys have any events going on where you want to bring me in for. So this way, remember, you have the 4 people that you know you're going to talk to, but you don't know who else in the audience can actually hire you. And you just don't know. So that's why you say that thing from the stage. You're like, hey, anyone else who can pretty much hire me, just come up to me after I'm done in just a few seconds. Come up to me, give me your business card, right? You want their business card. You don't want to give yours out. I mean, you can give yours out, but you want their business card because you want to be the person controlling the interaction. You want to be the person reaching out to them, the person following up with them. Because what's going to happen is they may forget your card. They may, I don't know, something may happen. They have every intention of hiring you. Your card's just gone, right? And you can't contact them. And so that's why you always want to get their business card. So you don't say, come up to me, I'll give you my business card. You say, come up to me, give me your card. If they don't have a card, freaking put their phone number into your phone. That's what you're doing the entire time, all right? So that's what you're doing when you're on the stage. You're on the stage, you give this quick pitch about you're going to get a review, and then come up to me afterwards if you have any events going on. All right, bam, you're done with the presentation. You do your final story, your final demonstration, whatever, you're done. At that moment, people are going to come up to you. They're going to say like, oh my goodness, you're great. You're amazing. Oh my goodness, best speech ever. People are going to come up to you at that moment. As soon as you're done, what you do, you need to, and I do this in a very strategic way. I have a phone. My phone is always in my back pocket, right? It's in my back right pocket, or I mean, it might be on like a podium or something, but it's always there. Usually it's in my back right pocket. And so what I do is I simply take out my phone as soon as I'm done. It's like automatic now. I take out my phone, I'm holding it in my right hand because what you're trying to do is you want to get testimonials. Remember, you're all about getting testimonials at this point. So you want to get testimonials. And I did this because there were times when I would forget to just get testimonials. I mean, it's stupid. All these people are coming up to you saying how amazing you are, and you're just like, oh, cool, thank you, oh, yeah, thank you, I know I am, thank you, oh, stop it. And you're doing that, whereas what you should be doing is you should be getting testimonials. And so there were times when I would just forget to do it. And so the way I went over that, the way I got over forgetting, was simply just pull out my phone immediately. As soon as I'm done, just bam, my phone is in my right hand, right? So let's say my phone's in my right hand. Now, when people come up to you, what do? They come up to you and shake your hand. In order for you to shake their hand back, I mean, it's in your right hand. You got to literally put your phone over to your left hand and shake their hand. That's what you have to do. Otherwise, I mean, it's going to look weird. It's going to look weird to shake with your left hand. So you have to do that in order to shake their hand. That is going to remind you, oh, yeah, I got my phone. Right? Oh, yeah, I'm holding my phone, right? It's going to remind you that you're holding your phone because, like I said, there have been times I would literally have my phone in my hand. Like it would start in my left hand because, I mean, I'm left-handed, so I would naturally have my phone in my left hand to begin with. And I would just forget it's there. It's like when, like sometimes, when you have glasses on, like sunglasses or whatever, and you're like looking for it. Where my glasses at? Where are my glasses at? And they're like on your head. And so it was like that with the phone. Where's my phone at? Where's my phone? Stop talking to me. I need my phone. You're holding it. Oh, my bad. And so that was the same thing when I was presenting, right? And so what I did is I started holding it in my right hand because when they come up to me to shake my hand, I'd have to do this. So that would remind me, oh, yeah. And I shake their hand. Oh, actually, real quick, here. Can you actually say that to the camera? And so I would start doing that, right? And at this moment, I'm looking at the people who are coming up to me. If it's any one of the 4 people that was pointed out to me in the beginning, I'm hands down going to spend more time with them. I'm going to talk to them hands down more than everybody else. And so At this point, I'm holding the phone like this the entire time. I mean, every single person who comes up to me, I'm just holding the phone. It doesn't matter if they come up to me, they're like, that was cool, and walk away, or they just shake my hand. The phone is just here the entire time. Just like, let me just capture everything, right? Because you can edit all the stuff later. So I'm capturing everything at this moment, right? So they're coming up to you, that was great, and all that, cool, yeah. I mean, what do you think? Yeah, I know I'm the bomb, cool, thanks. And so you're getting the testimonials. At the same time, what you do is you ask them about any events that they have going on. And so you say like, oh, so I mean, what do you do? And they're like, oh, I'm whatever. It's like, oh, do you guys like have any events going on? And you're doing this for the camera, by the way. And so you say this in third person. So you say, would you hire Benji Bruce for an event, right? So you're like, would you hire Benji Bruce for one of your events? Even if they don't have an event, because you don't know if they have any events going on, you still ask this question. You still say, would you hire Benji Bruce for your events? At this moment, if they do have an event, great. If they don't, they'll still say yes. Like no matter what, they're going to say yes. I mean, I highly doubt anyone would ever say no, especially because you're right there. You're filming on camera. Even if they didn't like your presentation, well, if they didn't like your presentation, they wouldn't come up to you in the first place. But even if in their mind they're thinking, no, I wouldn't hire this person, even if they're thinking that, they're still going to say yes to the camera. The reason you do that isn't to include that in your testimonial. It's to simply frame them, to pre-frame them once again, to like, hey, oh yeah, I do have an event. Oh yeah, we do have a Christmas party. You just want them to remember, oh yeah, we do have a Christmas party. And you're now getting confirmation, oh yeah, we would bring Benji in. And once again, you say it in third person, would you bring Benji in for one of your events? You're like, oh yeah, I definitely would. Do you have an event going on, by the way? Do you guys have like a Christmas party? At this moment, you're kind of... it's like you're having a real conversation at this moment, but you're still recording. So even though you're not going to use any of this footage with this conversation, you're still recording at this moment because there's no reason to really stop your recording. And so you're sitting there like, oh, so would you hire Benji Bruce for one of your events? You're like, oh yeah, I mean, I definitely would. Okay, cool. I mean, do you guys have any events going on? Like, do you have a Christmas party? Like, what events do you have? Oh, we don't actually do events. Okay, cool. Yeah, thanks, by the way. Hey, how's it going? You can talk to somebody else. All right. Versus if you say, oh, would you guys hire Benji Bruce? Oh, yeah, we definitely would. We would. Okay. Do you have any events going on? Actually, yeah, we do. Okay, cool. Can I get your business card real quick and I'll hit you up? And it's like, okay, cool. And then at that moment, you just get their card and you just put it away, right? And so, and you can ask them more questions about the event right there and then if you want. This depends on how many people are coming up to you afterwards. If a lot of people are coming up to you afterwards, you don't want to talk to an individual for 10 minutes. You just don't. If a lot of people are coming up to you afterwards, because then everyone's going to start to leave. They're going to be like, this is taking too long. Let's go. And so if a lot of people are coming up to you afterwards, you want to think in terms of how do I get like straight to the point? How do I just be really, really direct, right? And so all you're doing, bam, you're holding this. They're coming up to you. Oh, yes, cool. Say what you thought. Cool. Or, would you hire Benji Bruce for one of your events? Yeah, I would. Oh, I mean, do you guys have an event going on? Oh, no, we don't. Okay, cool. Thanks. Thank you, by the way. All right, so say what you thought. All right, he was great. He was amazing. Oh my gosh, amazing. Best speech ever. Okay, cool. Would you guys hire Benji Bruce for one of your events? Yeah, we actually would. Oh, do you guys have an event going on? Yeah, actually we do. Okay, can I get your business card real quick? Yeah, here's my card. Okay, cool. I mean, what's the event? I mean, is it like Christmas party? When is it? Oh yeah, it's a Christmas party. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll hit you up. Thank you. All right, bam. And then you go on to the next person. That's literally what you're doing every single time, every single person. If someone is taking up a lot of your time, because sometimes people will take up a lot of your time. You'll sit there, you're talking to them, they just want to keep talking to you. You have to cut them off. You hands down have to cut them off unless they're like the CEO of the company. Unless they're like freaking, their status is like way up there. You don't cut them off. You're just like, shoot, I'm talking to freaking Bill Gates right here. Hell no, I'm not cutting this mofo off. So it's like, it kind of depends, but very rarely is it going to be Bill Gates talking to you like that, right? So you don't want to cut them off, right? I mean, you want to cut them off if they're talking to you for so long. This is not being rude, by the way. You're not being rude when you cut people off. And they understand the context of the situation. They see other people coming up to you. They understand this. They see this. But they're it's their natural instinct to take up as much time as you'll let them. And so they're talking to you, and then you're like, oh, I got to actually talk with a couple people. Just hang out and let's talk a little bit more. So do something like that, right? So they're talking. You're thinking like, damn, well, this person shut up. I got to talk to other people. And so they're talking. You say, oh, yeah, actually, I got to talk with a couple other people real quick. Just hang out and let's talk a little bit more after everybody's gone. Like, oh, cool, yeah. And so that's what you do. Cut them off. Hands down, cut them off, okay? All right. And so after that, Tara said, isn't the recording off-putting? No, it is not. I don't know why speakers think you can't record or it's off-putting. I don't know why speakers tend to think that. I have no idea. You want to be more aggressive with your marketing, with your business. You just want to be more aggressive. That's hands down how you want to be. That's how you're going to get to where you want to be. People who are tame and people who hold back like that, they just don't accomplish anything that they want to accomplish. And so you don't want to think that, hey, this is off-putting or anything like that. You don't want to think that. To me, it doesn't register in my mind. Okay, it literally doesn't register in my mind whatsoever. So just sit there and just do that. Remember your goal. Remember your mission. You want to think along the lines of you are on a mission. Think about if your kid was kidnapped, your kid, family member, best friend, whatever was kidnapped. Would you give a damn that someone is coming up to you and to them it's a little bit off-putting? You would not give a damn. Like you'd be like, dude, my kid is kidnapped. I got to market myself like crazy to get my kid back. If you don't like it, you can go. I've got 20 other people who are cool with it, right? And so I don't know why speakers think like that because, like I said, in all the years I've done this, I don't have people who say anything like that. So you simply just want to, it's not off-putting whatsoever. All right, so you're here, you're recording, people are coming up to you, and once again, you're looking for the people that the meeting planner pointed out to begin with. So you're looking for those people. You're saying, okay, are they coming up to you? If they're not, you're going to go up to them, right? So you're going to say, after all that, you're going to look for them like a hawk. You're looking for them. You're keeping track of where they are in the room. If they leave the room, that sucks, but you're keeping track of where they are. And if you see them leave, I mean, you want to get through as many people as possible, as fast as possible, so you can just go out and go to them, right? So you want to just get through as many people as possible so you can get to those 4 people, whether they come up to you or not. Once you're done with all the people who come up to you, now you go to those 4 people and you do the same thing, except instead of them coming to you, you're going to them. You're like, hey, John, So Jane actually told me about you earlier. You mentioned the meeting planner who hired you. Jane told me about you earlier. I just want to get a quick testimonial from you. I mean, just say what you thought about the presentation. You do the same thing to them. You're like, say what you thought about the presentation. Oh, I thought it was amazing. It was great. Okay, cool. I mean, do you guys like have any events going on? And once again, at this point, you're having a deeper conversation with them. They're like, yeah, I mean, we would definitely hire him for an event. Okay, yeah, we do have an event going on. You're having a deeper conversation. You get their business cards from them. That's what you're doing with that, okay? So let's see. Griff said, I tell my audience that I have an obligation to share my message, and I flat out tell them I'm depending on them to help me out and if they like my speech. Yep. Yeah, exactly. Like you have to shift the way you think about getting testimonials, recording, and all that. I never had those thoughts in terms of, oh, am I allowed to record? Or, I mean, is it going to be off-putting? I never had those thoughts because it's like Griff, where if you truly believe in your product, your service, and you truly have to get it out there, you aren't scared that you are going to be off-putting to a couple of people. You're simply not scared. If you truly believe that your product will change someone's life, then you won't feel bad for selling that product. That is why I keep telling people, everyone who's not a Speak Pro Academy member, I guarantee you it will take you so much longer than you think to get booked on stages because you don't realize what it takes. Maggie, Greg, all these guys, Clarence, all these guys who are Speak Pro members, they get it. They see the difference. They're like, all right, here's all the knowledge, here's all the implementation. They see what they actually accomplished in the shorter amount of time versus if they went at it by themselves. And I truly believe it because I see it. I see guys like Dave who went from praying to God to doing almost $250,000 in a year. I see guys like that. And so If you truly believe that your speech, that your product or whatever is great, then you have no problem whatsoever promoting. People who are scared to promote, people who are scared to sell, they don't believe in their product or service as much as they think they do. So you have to truly, truly believe, like not just to a point where you just say it. Like, a lot of people say it. I don't know why I'm still holding this. A lot of people say it. Like, oh yeah, I think it's great. I really do want to share my message. I really do think my product is great. Then when they get a chance to sell, they're like, oh, I don't want to come across as salesy though. And it's like, you're not coming across as salesy. You believe in this thing so much. If you had the cure to cancer, you would not be scared to tell anyone with cancer, I've got the damn cure. Like, this pill right here will save your life. You would literally feel bad for not telling them. If you see a person dying of cancer and you have the cure, you would feel bad for not saying anything. You just be like, I don't want to be salesy though. I mean, I know he's got cancer, and I know I got the cure like in my pocket right here, but I don't want to be salesy. I mean, I don't know. And so the only reason you think you're salesy is because you don't believe in your product as much as you think you do. If you truly believe in it, you will go further than most people. You'll sit there, you'll be like, I got the cure to cancer. Like, I know you've been trying chemo and all that stuff, but I got the cure to cancer. And you'll be like, I don't really believe you. Look, man, I'm telling you right now, this will literally save your life. Yeah, but I mean, look, shut up. This will literally save your life. And a lot of people are like, yeah, but you're being pushy. No. You believe in your product so much. And so that's the mindset behind it, okay? And so you're sitting there, you're recording, you're getting the testimonies and all that. If you have a networker with you, your networker is doing the same thing. Your networker is asking for the testimonials. He's asking people about the events that they have and all that. He's simply just having a conversation. And your networker has to be very focused on the end goal. You have to be very focused on the end goal. Otherwise, what's going to happen is you're going to start talking about stuff. You're going to talk about baseball and stuff that doesn't make any sense to your goal. I mean, so you're going to sit there, think you're building rapport, but what you're really doing is wasting time. And so this is why I said you got to have a business savvy networker like Barry or my friend Branden. They got to be business savvy. They have to understand what your goal is, and they have to focus on that goal. You don't want them having conversations that don't actually matter. You want them to focus on that goal. All right. So that's pretty much how you're doing everything. And then after your whole thing is done, once again, you go up to the meeting planner at that moment, and now you ask them for the referrals again. So you do the same thing to the meeting planner. You're like, hey, oh yeah, so remember the event you guys said you had like 5 other events. What are those events? I mean, did you want to bring me in for those? And so at that moment, you're talking to the meeting planner who hired you. Before they just saw you present, everyone's like, oh my goodness, amazing. And with the meeting planner, you're doing it a little bit differently. So with the meeting planner, you're saying like, oh, what did you think? Then at this moment, you say, well, what did everyone else think? Like, what did the audience think as well? And so the reason you do this is because you want them to think about the overall experience, right? You want them to think about literally what everybody else thought. And so it's not just about what they thought. It's what did everybody else think? And this simply tells them, oh yeah, so if I bring them into another event, then they're going to have the same effect on that audience as well, because this audience thought this speaker was great. So the other audience, they're going to think they're just as great. And so that's why you want to say the question of, well, what do you think the audience thought? Right. And so that's what you're asking them. And once again, you're going to start talking with that meeting planner. And at that moment, you want to ask them for referrals. You're simply asking them like, hey, so I mean, what other events are you doing? Is there anyone else that you know? And then after that, so now you're done. You've presented, you've done your thing, you're gone. Actually, no. You don't leave just yet. Okay. So after an event, what usually happens is people tend to hang out at the bar. All right. Everyone goes to the hotel bar or something. There's always like a little hangout spot that most people tend to go to. You want to go there. All right. What most speakers do, they tend to up and leave. They go back to their room. They just up and leave or whatever. The only time you want to do something like that is if you're busy as all hell. Like you literally got to go. You're like Tony Robbins, like, all right, I'm in. I got to do the presentation. I got to go. Right. And so that's the only time you want to do that. But if you're not Tony Robbins, then go to the bar. The bar is where you do the other networking. And I remember the guy from Aflac, Adam, where he actually mentioned this. He actually told me, he's like, I think it's actually cool that you tend to just kind of hang out afterwards, because a lot of the guys that we hired in the past, they tend to just leave. He's like, they just leave. And I mean, he literally said that to me. And you just want to think in terms of, you're thinking about the networking. So once again, you're going up, you go to the bar where everyone else hangs out at, the restaurant, whatever. People, once again, they're going to come up to you every now and again. They'll say, oh, that was great, by the way. Yeah, that was cool. They're going to come up to you, pat you on the back, shake your hand, and all that sort of stuff. And at this moment, you're going to do the same thing to them. You don't really need to pull out your phone at this moment and record a testimonial unless they're really, really good. Like they're like, oh, dude, I didn't get a chance to talk to you in there, but holy shiznit. Like then you want to, well, hold on a second, say that again. And so, but usually when you're at the bar, you just want to talk just normally, right? And so once again, you're talking to them like, oh yeah, so do you guys have any events going on? Yeah, give me your card. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'll add you on Facebook and everything. So that's what you want to do right after you do the presentation. You simply just go up to the bar. You do the same thing, but more in an informal type of way. If someone's really good in terms of how they talk, then get a testimonial from them. All right, so bam, you're done. Night's over. You leave. So now you leave. Well, at this moment, you go onto the computer or on your phone, whatever, take some of those testimonials, the best ones you got, put them into a video, take this video, and you send that video to the person who hired you. Whoever hired you, you say, dude, I had a great time. It was amazing. Cool. I mean, here's some footage from the audience, right? You send them the testimonial. And when you send the testimonial, once again, you ask for referrals. Once again, like, so you just ask for referrals at this moment, and they whether they watch the reviews or not doesn't really matter, but it's kind of like there's a reason why you're sending that email in terms of, hey, here's the reviews, here's what everyone thought maybe you'd like to share this in the office or whatever. And so you do that, and then at the same time, hey, is there anything else? Are there any other events that you want to bring me in for, or any other events that you know from other people who would want to bring me in? And you want to get the names and all that sort of stuff, right? So that's basically the process that you're doing. Like I said, most people, when they get referrals, they don't think of it as a systematic process. They just say, all right, let me just ask whatever. I just do a presentation. Let me just ask. That's not how you do it. You do exactly what I just said. This is, once again, what I mean by being systematic. It's a process over and over. It's the same thing over and over. For those of you who aren't in the Speak Pro Academy, you have to join. You have to join because everything is systematic. Everything is built out in a systematic way like this. This is how you get booked consistently. This is why Kareem, he is killing it. Like, he's getting a gig and then he's booking 10 other gigs off that one gig. And when you do that, you don't need to reach out to as many events anymore. You don't have to cold call, cold email as many events, because when you get one, you book 3, 4 more off that one. And so that's how you do it in a systematic way. I'm telling you, if you're not a Speak Pro Academy member, you don't know what you're missing. You don't realize how long it's going to take you to get there. When you are a Speak Pro member, it's just basically it's going to take you this long. If you're not a member, it'll take you this long if you are. That's what happens when you're a member. Everything inside the program is systematic. Everything you do needs to be turned into a system. Whether you're reaching out to events, whether you're doing referrals, don't be one of those speakers who just say, oh yeah, I get gigs through referrals, and you have no idea how to actually get gigs. Everything is systematic. Think in systems. Think in terms of how do I repeat the process over and over and over again to get the end result of getting booked like crazy, getting booked consistently. All right. So that's the whole shebang, the whole referral system. I'm going to end this on Instagram real quick. All right. Cool. So that's the whole system. Any questions? We only got like 10 minutes. Maybe D, I remember your question from earlier. Maybe I'll answer that tomorrow because I wanted to go into more detail. We don't have as much time right now. But any other questions about the referral system? And then we'll talk tomorrow as well. All right. So what is tomorrow? Is Halloween. All right. Yeah, and by the way, guys, in case you haven't noticed, I don't really care about holidays. Like, when there's a holiday, I still do business anyways. It's just one of those things, right? So any questions before we are done for today? I'll wait a few seconds. But you guys want to go back, watch this video like 20 times if you have to. I'm telling you, this one thing will change your entire speaking career. This one thing, if you get this systematic process down, when you get booked, you'll naturally see yourself getting booked more. Whereas other speakers, they leave it to chance. They're just like, all right, I got hired, let me go present, and then let me ask for referrals. That's not how you do it. You're asking for referrals from the very get-go. It reminds me of the speaker who's a platform closer out here, hands down the best platform closer I've ever seen. And I asked him, I was like, well, what's the difference between you closing from the stage versus all these other guys? And he said, basically, I'm not afraid to sell. He's like, these other guys, they produce, or they say all their content in their speech. And then at the very end of the speech, they deliver a pitch. Whereas my entire speech is a pitch. And that's the difference. That's why he sells so much. That's the difference between my referral process and everybody else's referral process. Everybody else's referral process is everything just goes this way, and then the final 10 minutes, they ask for a referral. My referral process is, it's from the very get-go. Everything is the referral process. From the moment that you start talking to them, before they even sign the contract, till the time you're done with the stage, till the time everything is finished, the entire thing is the referral process. That's the difference. That's why someone like Kareem just dominates, just owns it, because he understands that. And so I'm telling you guys, if you're not a Speak Pro member, you got to join. Let's see, speakproacademy.com. See, Ricardo said, how soon after you get their info do you reach out to them? I reach out to them immediately. So I don't wait at all. I just reach out to them immediately. So it's like, whether it's that night or the next day, I just reach out to them immediately. Right. And once again, they're in my, they're in the system of the outreach system. So it's like I reach out, I send out that email, then I send out another email if they don't respond, and I go through the sales cadence, whether they respond or not. And so, yeah, that's pretty much what I'm doing. And then also with a few of them, I'll add them on Facebook as well. And I'll add them on Facebook, not Instagram or Twitter or anything like that, because Facebook, in order for you to become friends, like, they have to accept it. Whereas like on Instagram, you can follow somebody, and in Twitter, you can follow somebody and they don't need to follow you back. Whereas on Facebook, when you get the friend request, it's like, it's equal. Like you both follow each other type thing. So I'll add them on Facebook. And then on Facebook, I'm promoting, right? So Facebook, I don't post stuff like, hey, I'm eating McDonald's. I don't post that stuff. I don't eat McDonald's, but I don't post that stuff. 99% of what I post on social media is business related, because I know that whenever people come to my social media, I want them to see that. I don't want them to see like, hey, this is the everyday stuff, right? All right, cool. So yeah, that's the referral process. So rewatch this video, guys. I'm telling you, rewatch it, drill it into your head in terms of what you need to do step by step. This is how you get referrals. This is how you get spin-off gigs. Thanks, everybody. I will see you guys tomorrow, 9 a.m. Pacific time, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Pacific time. Take care, everybody. See ya, 9 a.m. Pacific time.